When we get back to this email, the main focus of this is that he talks about the original state funding came out of Congress, and Wayne Owens was the senator from Utah, and that he was there to argue against his work. And that's why he had to go talk to the head of the Mormon Church. Wayne Owens was a Democrat from Utah and a congressman, and he was involved in cold fusion research. So this is a very fascinating rabbit hole. This took place back in 1989. And at this time, when they were talking about cold fusion, he said that I killed Pons years ago. And Pons was one of the main scientists involved in this cold fusion research.
The experiment we have accomplished has been described in the news release, which you have, and I'll just give you a brief synopsis. And that it is basically we've established a sustained nuclear fusion reaction by means which are considerably simpler than conventional techniques. Deuterium, which is a component of heavy water, is driven into a metal rod, similar, exactly like the one that I have in my hand here, to such an extent that fusion between these components, these deuterons in heavy water, are fused to form a single and new atom. And with this process, there is a considerable release of energy, and we've demonstrated that this could be sustained on its own. In other words, much more energy is coming out than we're putting in.
On this file, EFTA 008845559. This is the document that links the head of the Mormon Church to Jeffrey Epstein. And here is the document. Now, there's a lot of things that we have to cover and go over, and this is going to take a little bit of time. But first up, we see that this is an email from Jeffrey Epstein to someone named Al Seckel, and that this email was sent October 1st, 2009. And it says, the original Senate funding came out of Congress and Wayne Owens, senator from Utah. I was there and argued against it, had to meet with the head of the Mormon Church. Now we notice that it said, ought meet with the head of the Mormon Church, but that is a typo where the word to has been inverted on accident. So the real statement is, had to meet with the head of the Mormon Church. And then we see Al Seckel say, don't leave me hanging, Jeff. I want to know your relationship to Pons and cold fusion. And then below that, we see a response regarding cold fusion. I killed Pons years ago. Jeffrey Epstein taking credit for that action. Now, when we take a closer look at this document, we need to take a look at who Al Seckel is, and also who possibly is he talking about as far as who was the head of the Mormon Church at that time. And this is a deep rabbit hole, and the apologists and propagandists of the church are already coming out trying to sweep all of this under the rug, skipping over all of the details and trying to hide the deep allegations and the deep rabbit hole that this actually involves. This ties into the blocking of funding and research into cold fusion and free energy that was taking place in the state of Utah. It involves human trafficking, the bribery of Brigham Young University, investment into the gender studies program that went on there, and a lot of other atrocious things.